Good evening, everyone. This is Michael Robbins, substituting for my wife, Tuya Robbins, who usually does these programs. We are broadcasting from the Temple of Silence here in Luoma, Finland. And 5 days a week, we broadcast what is called the Ask series of meditations, ASK, Ask and you shall receive, Seek, and you shall find, knock, and it shall be opened unto you. The purpose is invocation. In this world of ours going through the transition from the Piscean to the Aquarian age, from the 6th ray to the 7th, there's a lot of turbulence and misalignment of the outer plane with the inner purpose. And if we understand how to invoke the necessary inner energies, then we can add to the welfare of the situation and encourage the right type of transition for humanity into the new age. Today our work is on the attracting of money for hierarchical purposes. So many of us, perhaps having gone through the Piscean era in a number of incarnations and having been subject to the 6th ray, look at money as if it's something, well, not spiritual. But in fact, it can be used and must necessarily be used for spiritual purposes. That's the way our world is. It's the medium of exchange. And the amazing thing is that the crux of the problem, which is preventing the externalization of the hierarchy and the reappearance of the Christ, is very much a financial issue. So we have to adjust our ideas along that line and make sure that the money that passes through our hands is used to bring about the emergence of all that is good in the world. Now, Master DK has given us some preparatory thoughts here. You may want to have your journal and a pen, or if you work with one of those super phones, smartphones, or with a little tablet or computer, you might have that ready when ideas come to you. So this is what Master DK has said in preparation for this meditation. This meditation is so simple that many of you may regard it as innocuous and perhaps futile. Used by many simultaneously, it may shatter the impasse which at present prevents adequate funds pouring into the work which the hierarchy seeks to accomplish. Do this meditation every Sunday morning. Well, we can't exactly do that because we're all around the world, but at the time that we're offering this here in Finland, it is Sunday morning in the United States at least, and it's already probably the next day, early in the morning in Australia and New Zealand. Anyway, Sunday is the day, it's the sun day, and we're talking about the flowing golden substance which can support the externalization of the divine plan. Then this important part here, take what you have saved during the previous week and dedicate it to the work and present it in meditation to the Christ and to his hierarchy. Whether the sum is large or small, it can become an attractive and magnetic unit in the Master's plans. So it's a deliberate act of saving and sharing, and one is reminded of the widow's mite in the Bible, where Christ was with his disciples in the temple and noticed a Pharisee give a fair amount of money and be very proud of it. Then along came a very humble widow who just put in the tiniest bit. And the idea was, and he said, who has given more? The Pharisee gave some of his excess and not very much, and the widow gave all she had. And naturally, what she gave was the real gift. That's called the widow's mite. So even if it just might be a tiny mite, that we can give, if we give it in the right spirit, it is very important. Now, we have to realize that there is an occult law: to those who give shall be given, so that they can give again. And if we want to carry that even further, as the masters have found out, through much sacrifice, to those who give all is given. So let us take that to heart and realize that if we don't give, we don't have the right to ask. The surest way to be filled with the bounty of the planet and the system and even the universe eventually is to create the vacuum so that it can flow in, and that vacuum is created by giving all. So now we begin with our meditation, the first stage. After achieving a positive and intended personality quietness, we formulate clearly to ourselves and in our own words the answer to some questions, and we will first achieve that personality of quietness in line with the overshadowing soul, the higher energies. We are in line with that part of ourselves which knows the truth of generosity in all respects. It is our soul nature. It's very Jupiterian, very Venusian, very second ray. It, regardless of what the ray may be, it gives and pours forth like the sun. And here are the questions. And for those of you who speak Finnish, you'll see that beneath the English is the Finnish text. If money is one of the most important things needed today for spiritual work, what is the factor which is at present deflecting it away from the work of the hierarchy? And then, what is my personal attitude towards money? Do I regard it as a great and possible spiritual asset, or do I think of it in material terms? What is my personal responsibility in regard to money which passes through my hands? Am I, in fact, handling it as a disciple of the Masters should handle it? And then we go into the second stage. Ponder on the redemption of humanity through the right use of money. And in doing this, we visualize the money in the world as concretized energy, largely used for purely material purposes and for the satisfaction, where the individual is concerned, of purely personal desires. But now, we visualize money as a great stream of flowing golden substance passing out of the control of the forces of materialism and into the control of the forces of light. And then we say the following invocative prayer with focused mental concentration and from a heartfelt desire to meet spiritual demands. O Thou, in whom we live and move and have our being, turn to spiritual purposes the money in the world. Touch the hearts of men everywhere so that they may give to the work of hierarchy that which has hitherto been given to material satisfaction. The new group of world servers needs money in large quantities. I ask that the needed vast sums be made available. May this potent energy of thine be in the hands of the forces of light. Then, visualize the work to be done by those groups which claim your present allegiance. Any group that you may know that is attempting to carry out the hierarchical plan. And then, through the creative imagination and by an act of the will, see untold and unlimited sums of money pouring into the hands of those who seek to do the Master's work. Then we say aloud, with conviction and with emphasis, He for whom the whole world waits has said that whatsoever shall be asked in His name, and with faith in the response, will see it accomplished. Remember at the same time that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And then we add the following: I ask the needed money for, and we fill in those groups and sources which are doing the hierarchically related work for the welfare of humanity. I ask for the needed money for, and can demand it because. So first we will be specific about the groups for which we are asking the money. And I can demand it because from the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. And we close our meditation, enter the last phase of the meditation by a close and careful consideration of our responsibility to the divine plan. And each week we will plan our financial cooperation with the hierarchy. We are to be practical and realistic, and know that if we do not give, we may not ask, for we have no right to evoke that which we do not share. and we attempt to feel true love sweeping through us, and we have the fixed intention to express this love to all whom we may contact. It is the great attractive and selfless agent in world affairs. And all of this we do in the name of the Christ. And as we think about him and his inspiration for the spreading of love in the world, we use this powerful mantra: we have gathered in your name, Lord Maitreya, be with us. Thank you for participating in this meditation for attracting money for hierarchical purposes. Our program continues. Next week we have the 5 a.m. Series of programs, 5 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is Universal Time. And you know, if you can't do the AM, maybe you can do the PM, and if you can't do the PM, maybe you can do the AM. So on Wednesdays, we work with the triangles, indispensable for sacralizing the planet, making it a sacred planet. Thursdays, the reappearance of the Christ meditation. Friday, the webinar for the dissipation of glamour. Saturday, the invoking of the souls of the nations. And on Sundays, such as today, we have the attracting money for hierarchical purposes. And we will close our presentation with the ancient prayer the Gayatri.